Uh,
Hi, guys. Camera's good? Start with an opening statement from Coach.
all right, just before we get going, I just want to let the whole NC State family, Grayson McCall, his family, know that we are really thinking and praying for him. That is one of the worst things to ever see in college sports, is to see somebody getting taken out on a stretcher board, and it was really scary. And I hope and pray that he's okay. And certainly our thoughts and prayers are with him, his family, and all of NC State. Um, it's a competitive game, and then at times it's a physical and a violent game, and you hate to ever see that happen. Um, I'm just really proud of our team. I don't know what our record will end up being this year. We got a lot of football ahead. Um, that's one of the best wins that we've ever had because of everything that's happened up to this point. A lot of times early in the year, when you lose some of those close games, there can be a little discouragement. And we had a good week of practice. Uh, I thought we had good preparation. I didn't have any sense at all that our guys weren't going to give great effort. Um, and to come back from 10 points in the fourth quarter against, I think that's a really good football team. And we just kept battling. NC State and, Dave and I have been at this a long time. And it's just amazing how many of these games have come down to 3 or 4 points. And as excited as I am for our win, as Dave is somebody that I really like and respect, I know how he feels right now, and that's a hard feeling as a coach. So I've certainly felt that a couple of times this year, and um, it's a great rivalry. I'm glad we still play it, and I'm glad we found a way to win it. So it's a good team win. I thought our defense played, well at times. The big thing is we did not have any of those big busts. It was a game that you didn't see a guy wide open down the middle of the field or the sideline. And I thought Jamar Glasker made some really good plays. Um, hopefully we're growing up a little bit. Some of our young receivers, Micah Mays, Deuce Alexander, those guys really stepped up in that last drive. Those are two redshirt freshmen that, with Donnie out, we need those guys to step up, and they did. So I'll relax and enjoy this one. And then I think we have a pretty good team coming to a Legacy Stadium next week. So I'll try not to think of that for the next 12 hours and just kind of savor this win. So I'm tired, I'm shot, but I'm really, really proud of our football team. That was special.
Dave, that 4th and 3, where you guys went forward and said, take a field goal, was always the plan, always to go for it, or was that kind of on the line where you kind of figured it out?
I don't know. Sometimes I can be a little stubborn. And my mindset was, if we're going to win or lose the game, let's win it there. We had the ball in their territory. It's 4th and 3. I certainly had confidence that Matt Dennis would kick the field goal, but I still thought it was too much time on the clock. If you kick the field goal, I think it was 1:45 left. And so if you kick it, it's a tie game, and you're giving them over 100 seconds to go in field goal range. And that kicker, he can hit a 50, 55 yarder, and he was going to be with the wind. So you kick off to them, they get the ball at the 25, and in 1:20, if they go 30 yards, they can line up, or 40, 35 yards, they can line up and kick a game winner. And so part of my thought process is where the clock was and how good their kicker is. And so I just thought, if we're going to go down, let's go down on their side of the ball. And, we call a play, and, what a play by Hank. They went cover 0, and that's NC State, man. If you got a critical down, they ain't going to let you sit. And we knew we were going to have to get the ball out fast, and Hank did a great job of getting the ball out fast, and Deuce separated. We got him in motion. It was a really good call by Coach Ruggiero, and it ended up working out. If the ball's tipped, I'm a dumbass right now. It's the nature of what we do.
I guess the two early turnovers in the second half and just stays in there and keep battling. What did you think of how gutty his performance was?
You know, this isn't his best statistical game, but he was the winning quarterback. And, you know, I really think what our offensive line did in that fourth quarter is really the story of the game. You know, I mean, we were struggling to separate and just said, let's get our best player of the football. And, you know, we gave it to Demond. And sometimes it doesn't look like plays are really well blocked, but he still finds a way to get 6, 8, 10 yards, and he hits home runs. And so that to me was, you know, that adjustment in the game plan, I think, you know, probably maybe did it a little too late, but it ended up working out. So
See a little bit on a pitch count.
who? Whole offense was on a pitch count because they were out there. You know, like the last drive was 6:06. The drive before that was 4:25. I looked up once and the time of possession was like 33-15. And, you know, I just told Coach R, I'm like, I just, let's not go 3 and out with 3 passes anymore. Let's at least give our best player a chance to impact the game. And again, I've said those things before and it doesn't work out. And today it happened to work out. So that's, I think, what my 299th game as a head coach. And every once in a while, I get it right. I've certainly got it wrong enough times.
Dave, mentality wise, what does this do for your team?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's, you know, the big thing in college football is our guys work hard. They had a really good summer. We had a great camp. I mean, there's nobody more crushed than them that we started out 1-3. That's not what we wanted. And you lose 2 heartbreaking games. And so I think it's like the nature of anything, right? That at some point, if you work really hard, at some point you need to have a little reward to keep you going. And our staff needed a reward. Our team needed a reward. Our fan base needed a reward. And really, that's just what it does. It gives you, you know, every now and then you need to, you know, taste the ice cream a little bit. And they were in there and they were happy and they were dancing. And you contrast that with the locker room a week ago that guys are crying and it's silent. So they've worked hard. We don't always execute great, but this football team cares. They really do. They care and they play really hard. And even the Ole Miss game, they played hard. And so I'm glad to see them rewarded.
If you could tell us about the 1-score ball games that you guys are going to be in. What's it feel like to come out on the opposite side of that this time?
It's about freaking time. I used to brag how good we were at those. And the second you do that, the worm turns. Like I used to brag to our team, you know, we went a stretch there from like 16 to 21, that 1-score games. We were like one of the top 5 teams in the country. And the second I shared that with our team, and we've shit the bed in those games. And so anytime we do something well, I'm not even going to bring it up anymore.
Dave mentioned how you guys didn't have these coverage busts. You guys really got stayed off the field, especially after 2 turnovers. Did without Capone moving corner, looked like Sedarius Kelly didn't come back out there. Trayvon West down. Did the guys just believe in themselves? What was that?
No, I just like the whole thing was guys like they're not going to beat us throwing hitches. You know, like it's okay. Make them snap it again. You know, we might get a turnover. Maybe we get them off schedule. Maybe they kick a field goal. I really felt good going into halftime that we forced them to 3 field goals. You know, and the worst thing you can do at corner is, you know, you get frustrated and you break on those balls and then you give up a double move. Like that receiver group is one of the best receiver groups we'll play all year. Those guys are good football players. You know, I mean, a guy that's playing for them that might be starting for us is just one of their 6. I mean, that's how gifted and talented they are. And for us to not let the ball over our head, like one of my favorite plays of the game was the throwback post that Jamari Glasker stayed on top of. Like that to me, like those are like winning moments. You know, if he doesn't do that, this whole press conference is different. And so we were patient. We stayed on top of routes. We gave up a lot of yards. He hit 2/3 of his throws, almost for 300 yards. But we didn't give him any gifts. And that's really important because the last few weeks we've given up a lot of gifts.
Did you have to change the defensive thought process at all when CJ Bailey went in? Because he's obviously a different quarterback.
Not really. We kind of prepared for CJ, and then we kind of heard on Wednesday that Grayson was going to play. But just due to Grayson's injury, we really didn't think they'd run him. You know what? Grayson is a great dual threat quarterback. But after you miss that many games and what we thought the injury was, we didn't think that they would want to run him as much and take a chance with that. And so then they lose him, and, you know, they can't afford to lose another quarterback. You know, and I've managed games that way too, right? When you get thin at quarterback, you got to be really careful how often you run them and how often you expose them to hits. And so we didn't prepare a lot differently. I think CJ is going to be a really good player in time. And he is a good player already. He's a good athlete. He made a lot of good throws today. I mean, Concepcion had 6 catches, and, you know, I think they were trying to get Wesley in on us on one of them just to make a point, but he's a good player. There's a reason we recruited him.
What does it say about someone like Hank as a locker room guy when he doesn't have anything near his best game, but he takes the team down on that last drive, makes that, you know, terrific throw at the end? What does it say about the kind of leadership of someone like Hank?
You know, I've always kind of been reluctant to take transfer quarterbacks because you just worry it becomes transactional. Don't get me wrong. We've taken some transfers here that it is transactional. The second it doesn't go their way, their gaff is very, very low. Hank wants to win. He's adjusted to our locker room really well. Kids like him. The players really like him. They know he's about the team. The way he exposes his body on some of those runs. He didn't come here to put up numbers. He came here to be part of a team and to help our team win. And he's in there apologizing to me for the picks. And, you know, we just won a football game. So, you know, this win was eerily similar to 18. You know, we talked about the 18 game, you know, that, guys, we've gone to Carter Finley at a very low point before. And, you know, again, wasn't 21 that we were top 10 in the country, but given the circumstances, those 2 wins might be 2 of my favorite wins we've ever had here because of the mental toughness, resiliency. And again, guys, I get it. Like, you're up here. The ball gets tipped on 4th down, and here we go again. And how do you regroup? It's a really, really fine line. And we're very lucky and fortunate today that we are on the right side of that line.
Is it
Last
a
one,
little,
guys.
is it a little easier to?
Cam, I'll give you another one just because you're a deek.
Is it a little easier to regroup or regather or whatever after a win, after you've stopped a 3-game slide? I mean, you got to get their attention tomorrow and get back to business. Because like you said, you've got a good Clemson team coming in. It's a little easier though, now that they have a better taste in their mouth.
I don't know. There was once a book that was written about college football. It's called Every Week a Season. And it was a really interesting book, but that's really what college football is. Every week is its own unique season. And so we're fortunate. We are 1-0 in the NC State week. I'm sure our players will have a good time tonight. And then we'll get ready for Clemson, and we know how good they are. You know, so like I said earlier, I think more than anything, it's just when a group of guys work hard, you just want them at some point to get a reward. And they were rewarded. I'm really happy for them. I'm more relieved than happy right now. It's been a tough stretch for us as coaches too. You know, again, season started, our goal wasn't to be 2-3. We're not where we want to be, but I can promise everybody that we're working as hard as we ever have. We care just as much as we've ever cared. And it's hard to win. It's really hard to win. Go ahead, Cam. This is the last one because you're a Deke. Where'd you go to school? Then you can ask a question too.
Dave, I mean, you had Horatio Fields make a play in double coverage. Deuce obviously has his play in Micah. What does it mean for those guys to be, growing up?
I mean,
especially if Cam Height come in on the block that seals for Devon, getting open.
We're down Donnie. We're down Walker. Taylor Marin had to play a little bit outside today. And those three guys had to grow up, and they did. I mean, that to me, like Micah's catch on the comeback and then the slant he caught, Micah's really, really talented. And we like him a lot, but, he's kind of playing like games, it's kind of the ankles, the knees, the waist. And then today I felt like he dove all the way in. He looked dynamic and made plays. And even the play that got us down to the goal line, that was him, right?
Yeah.
And I just told those guys how proud I was of them. They're starting to grow up and they're learning that this game isn't easy. But just like our football team, they continue to work and they were both rewarded. So Horatio, Deuce, and Micah, I think, can all be high-level ACC receivers. And today they showed that. And next week will be even another greater challenge. You get one. I'm deferring to you because you're a Wake Forest.
Pass rush there last week after 2 really productive weeks before. What does it mean to have that back this week? So somebody like Bryce Gaines just kind of fall over the field.
Yeah, it was good to get Bryce back, and we got to get KP back too. But Bryce is really active, and he's another guy. I think his second year here, he's really bought in and become a better player.
Thanks, guys.
All right, go Digs.
Yeah, I mean, no coverage block today. Was it just guys just buying in more, communication better? What happened?
Well, like I said last week, we had to get through the growing pains of a newer secondary, and we were stepping in the right direction today. So it was good to see. We kept things in front of us for the most part, and so each week you got to get a little bit better and better.
How much tougher is it when obviously Capone really wasn't playing corner? Trayvon West goes down, Starius goes down. How much tougher is it when you're having guys out there that just really have that play at all?
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but hey, those guys stepped up to the plate, greatly. So fortunate to have everyone that we do.
Dave just said for a team that has worked hard, because every week, even in the losses, he's talked to us about how hard the team has worked. That they deserve a reward. They deserve. Is that what this feels like, a reward for the hard work?
For sure, especially a fourth quarter game like that. We've been in a lot of 1-score games, and to finally get over the hump and get one was especially in this environment was just awesome.
Obviously, the circumstances in which you recovered the fumble were not ideal. However, being able to return it cross field, being able to set your offense up for that first touchdown, how important was that to set the tone very early?
It was very important. I mean, one of our goals as a team this week was to start fast. We kind of came out of sleep against Louisiana, so that was one of our goals, and we came out and started fast.
Nick, what's the feeling? You guys have struggled in 1-score games for the last couple of years. What's the feeling of getting over the hump?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I mentioned earlier, just getting over the hump is something to be proud of. We've been right there, so we've learned and we've grown from those experiences. But there's no feeling like a win.
Nick, how do you let this not affect next week and have a letdown moment if you're playing a team like Clemson?
Yeah, I mean, we have a 24-hour rule, so you think about this game, you look at what to fix, celebrate what we did well, and then once those 24 hours are up, it's on to the next week. That's the beauty of football, college football. It's a new season every week. We just got to go 1-0.
Is it easier when you actually are doing things correctly?
I mean, we're a team that, whether it was good times like our losses or bad times, we came and showed up to work. So it shouldn't really matter. So we'll come back to work. If anything, we'll come back even harder.
the stat lines for the game, other than the final score, the stat lines were heavily in their favor. They had at one point double the amount of plays on offense that Wake had. Were you guys tiring at all? I mean, you weren't giving up the big plays, but there was a lot of 12, 13-yard plays. Was it wearing you guys down at all?
Well, I'll just say this: we found a way to win, and so we didn't give them any gifts, which was a goal for this week, and we just found a way to win. Good. All right. Thank you, guys.
Not as good as you.
Yeah.
What's that?
Not as good as you.
This is the man right here. This guy saved us right here, man. No line play. They did a great job in the second half right there. So, I'm just incredibly proud to be a teammate of theirs. So, I mean, defense did a great job. Yeah, I'm just so proud and happy for us. So
It's a bit of a different emotion than what you've had the past few years.
yeah, it's a similar situation, no doubt. And we were able to overcome and finally get over that hump. And I think that once you're able to get over that hump, and you do it once, you can do it every freaking time. So for us to be able to do that and be in that moment, Groundhog Day kind of, and for us to overcome it and win that game was huge for us. So, so proud of us and guys like Devon. So.
And what do you see on the fourth downs on that last drive?
Yeah.
They both went to deuce. You're about to get lit up.
Yeah.
What's the thought process?
Yeah. It was crazy because we actually ran that exact same rep in practice, the exact same rep, and we messed it up. Because it's cover zero, so they're all coming. And in practice, Deuce actually, he did a little too much, shaking on it. And I'm, there's guys free on me. So we were just like, hey, man, when we get this look, you got to go. Be decisive and go. And it was literally the same exact rep. And I honestly threw it kind of blind, but I knew he was just going to kind of be in that area, and he made a great play. So, and then the other one in field goal range, Coach Claus said we're going for it. So it's very similar rep as far as play call. And, Deuce was very decisive and on a choice route, and he just sat in the zone and we were able to get it. So
Boston said, Boston said, like in the locker room, you were apologizing after the turnovers you had.
Yeah.
How much does it matter to you to have staff, that kind of still believes in you when you didn't have your best game and still balls in your hand?
Yeah, like I said, these guys really saved me out there because you can't do stuff like that. They had to cover zero. I got to see that and on the strip sack, and then just kind of like a miscommunication on the pick there with the route. And you got to protect the ball, and the defense did a great job of really having our back, and then Damon and the O-line just and the receivers blocking in the run game, won us that game. So just it's a team sport. I mean, this is the type of games you got to win where everybody on all facets of the on every side of the ball has got to do a great job. So.
Were you surprised on that last fourth down when Dave decided to go for it instead of tie the game with the field goal?
That's what Coach said we're going to do. So, heck yeah, we're going to go win the game. So that's what he wanted to do. So, that's what we're doing.
I know you've only been here for 5 games, but one-score games have not been this team's forte in the last few years. What's the feeling like in the locker room with these guys to get over the hump in a big game on the road in a conference?
Yeah. Like I said, we've done it a few times this year and it didn't go our way. And for us to be able to do that, I just think it provides that belief and that conviction that you've done it so you can go do it again. Because I'm sure there's going to be more games like that where things aren't going to go your way. And you're going to have the ball in the last series and you're going to have to go score a touchdown and go win the game. And there's evidence now that we have done it and we can do it.
Said last week back about getting away from home for a little bit. Did you guys some good?
I think so. It looks like it. Yeah. No, it was a great environment. Everybody kept talking about how great of an environment NC State is, and it was such a blast. Grayson McCall, I've always been a huge fan of his. So I hope he's healthy too. Just now I'm thinking about it. Through his coastal days and stuff, he's a great quarterback. So Coach Costa said he was moving his arms and legs and just happy that he's able to do that. So.
You've only been here for a few months, but how kind of cool is it to see guys like Deuce and Horatio and Micah really start?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously we had a couple guys out and those guys did a tremendous job. Like to see Micah go out and go make plays, and be aggressive and physical. And you see that guy in practice, and then he does it in the game, finally, and see that confidence in him and do it is just, I'm so proud of him. And like I said, Deuce on that cover zero to know to break in on the interior pressure, to get that, and then Horatio making that freaking great grab for the half, like they all have that inside of them, and for them to go and be able to do it in a real game when it mattered is huge. And I look at it and like, yeah, like for myself, I don't think I played my best game, and like I'm excited because when it does all click, like how much better we can be. And now that we can win these tight games like this, I mean, I think sky's the limit.
You just said something I was gonna
Yeah.
ask about. It wasn't your best game.
Yeah.
I think you acknowledged that
Yeah.
as well. And that last one, did your confidence ever waver that with the ball in your hand?
No, I mean, I had guys like Damon having my back, and it's a team sport, and it happens, and you got to be like when a pitcher gets a home run, you got to go next pitch, and that's kind of something that you got to really push towards and work through, and Coach Clausen had my back, and that gives me confidence to just go out there and operate, and just really proud of the guys. So
That's good. Yep.
thank you guys.
So extra treats for Harley tonight?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, it kind of just fell in my lap. JD was getting pressure. Go back and watch it. JD's in his face. So, I mean, a lot of it really doesn't have anything to do with me. I was kind of just in my drop, and the ball kind of came to me. I was able to catch it. But, I mean, that starts with up front. JD getting pressure and kind of affecting that throw.
The defense was out on the field a lot. I mean, the number of total plays, huge advantage for NC State. Were you guys feeling tired at all at the end? Were you feeling like, man, the offense has got to come through?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, that's kind of stuff you prepare for. It's those long drives, because they can happen whenever. But yeah, no, they were having a lot of long drives, kind of driving down the field. We were kind of keeping everything in front of us, and we were able to hold them to field goals on some of those. But there were quite a few just kind of longer drives. But we rotate guys. We got 3 or 4 guys at every position that can come in and play, and being able to rotate and stay fresh in the fourth quarter definitely helps.
It's the feeling to get over the hump in a close game after Virginia and Louisiana really didn't play against these teams.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously those are games that we want to win. But those were all close games. They were 1-score games, and that's what we talked about all week is, finishing those close games, finding a way to win it. And we were down 10 in the fourth this game, and battled back to be able to win the close game, the 1-score game. So yeah, it was big, it was huge. It feels really good to come out on the winning side of that for sure. So now it's on to the next week.
After 24 hours.
Yeah, we'll have a good night tonight.
I know you haven't been here for the entire career. Does it make it a little bit sweeter to do it against a rivalry game?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think you really have to be here too long to realize how important this game was. This was one we needed, just kind of where we were at, and it being NC State, it being an hour and a half down the road, just kind of those 4 North Carolina teams. But yeah, no, it was. I mean, it doesn't take too many years to realize how big this one was.
That's good. Thanks, guys. See you on Tuesday.